Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a couple of days. Yeah, I guess I could have posted something. I don't really celebrate commercialized holidays. So I guess I could have put something over Christmas, whatever. I was just chilling. Um, yeah, I live in El Paso. So the only family I have, or whatever, for those of y'all who already know me, um, the ex-wife and her family. So I don't, they're the only family I have out here. And right now, dealing with, just a lot of doctor's appointments and surgeries and procedures and everything coming up, you know, and money's tight. I just can't be taken off and just, going to visit family over the holidays right now. Just too much stuff going on. So, and I got a lot of friends and everything, and I could have done that stuff, people I consider close. But just, as I said, I try not to leave the house when it's over the holidays, especially here in El Paso. These people can't drive as it is, and you get around like stuff that they get to celebrate, and they're drunk like by 9 a.m. and shit. That's not a stereotype. That's fact. People here in El Paso, mostly Mexican descent, they will find a way. It'd be a child's party, and they're drunk. And so, and people, and as I said, I was married to a Mexican family, and they're like, "This is just the way it is." So it's like, so it's not a stereotype. Like, no, this the way we are. But anyway, so this was what, 3 years ago, but I just happened to see it, a few days ago. So I threw it in my political folder. Well, do a video on it because I've been talking about it in my videos plenty of times. How the left, and mass media, go out of their way. And there's another video I'm going to add to this one too. But they go out of their way to hide or talk about as little as possible black on black crime. I mean, we can have just a single incident that happens. Like what? Like, let's take for instance the shooting here in El Paso at the Walmart, which they reopened, by the way, finally. Um, that got national news. Yet over the same time period, you could take any urban city, any urban area in one of these major cities, and as many people got shot, got killed in these black communities. We don't hear nothing about it. Nothing. They go out of their way. This has been going on since I was a kid. The Ebony Playboys, was one of the black uh, gangs back home, the black gang back home in Norfolk. And so we all knew what black on black crime. As I said, the majority of incidents, the majority of racism I ever dealt growing up was from black people. So this isn't, I mean, and then of course moving here to El Paso in '93, seeing all the crimes, the neighborhood I lived in, I knew the two rival gangs that lived in that neighborhood. I knew both sides. Was acquainted with both sides of them. Still acquainted, even though I don't live in that neighborhood anymore. Lived in that neighborhood until about what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And there was all kinds of violence. Just Devil's Triangle in the Northeast. Violence, 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 violence. Did it get national news? No. No, I didn't get national news. Stuff that started getting national news was during Obama's term. They started pushing all that bullshit during Obama's term. Um, all that, it, this is a very sore subject with me because I am just sick of these damn Democrats, the left, whatever the fuck you want to call it, trying to excuse blacks like black people. I mean, I heard sort of similar stuff when I was a kid, but it sure as hell didn't get pushed until fucking Obama's time of this, that blacks should get some kind of a pass because of past racism, because of past um slavery and things. And it's like, what are you I wasn't alive during slavery. You weren't either. And none of these white people are alive that were alive during that. So how the hell are you blaming people? This goes back to when I was a kid, and it was even like, the hell are y'all talking about? And then, of course, during Obama's time, all that bullshit about, like blacks should get some kind of a pass because of slavery and these fake ass fucking modern black leaders leaders, you know, Jesse Jackson, who used to be good, and then all of a sudden got all political. Al Sharpton, never liked his ass. Farrakhan, never liked his fucking ass. All these dumb, just trying to blame other people for shit that none of these people on either side were alive for. Why are we bringing up issues that none of us were alive for? Oh my God. So wanted to post, when I saw this, I've been meaning to talk specifically about Black Lives. I think I have, for the most part, but just people waking up. This was 3 years ago, but yet for some reason, this is the first time I'm even seeing this video and the first time I'm even hearing about this, because these are the stories that they go out of their way to shove down. Blacks that are against Black Lives Matter. Blacks that are against the bullshit of fucking hustling that black people do to try and get their hustle, trying to get their money. Fuck that shit. All of these fucking Negroes out there, Farrakhan, Sharpton, even Jesse piece of shit Jackson now, all of these fucking people just trying to get money. They're all hustling. None of this shit is real. You cannot be blaming. None of us were alive. Trying to blame white people for slavery that none of us were alive for, when more blacks were owned by blacks. Because, y'all want to talk about the motherland. Well, hello, y'all. Slavery was a thing. Hello, do we not know the Bible? Isn't Egypt in fucking Africa too? So obviously there were slaves going way back in fucking Africa. But and there's still slaves. There's still slavery in Africa. But no. We don't want to talk about that. We just want to try and shut up, man. Shut up. Don't be telling them the truth. We just want to try and blame white people here. Shut up. That's all. They're hustling. What is wrong with you fucking fake ass wannabe, wigger ass white people that trying to kiss the ass or basically ride the big black pony dick of fucking black people? Stop that shit. Stop it. Because those type of Negroes, the ones that are trying to blame white people, they don't like you. You are the white devil. They don't like you. So no matter how much you want to ride that black dick and I'm down with you guys and everything, they don't. Those are the blacks, the ones you're trying to kiss ass to, don't like you. No matter how much ass you kiss, they don't like you. They may use you. It's part of their hustle. They're using you to get you to speak on all that shit, but behind your back, they're like, fuck that white dude. He ain't one of us. But y'all, I've been trying to educate those dumbass white people since I was a kid. You know, the ones that try to act all hood, like my former bro, you know, his sister who was all preppy when we were in junior high, and then in high school, she all of a sudden was a total wigger. It's like, bitch, you don't you live down the street in the same nice neighborhood that I do. You don't fucking live in the hood. Why are you talking all ghetto and black dress? What the fuck? You were just preppy just like a year ago. You know, just this last year at junior high school, you were preppy. Now all of a sudden you're a fucking wigger now. It's like, but whatever, whatever. It's like these black people don't give a damn about you because no matter how ghetto you try and talk, they know you're not real. Bitch, they know you live in a white neighborhood, grew up white, grew up well off, but for some strange reason, you're acting like you're from the hood. Just fake. Fake. I consider Negro lifestyle, all of it, to be an image. It's fake. None of that shit existed. None of it was real. My parents pointed that shit out. My grandmom pointed that shit out. My grandma couldn't stand those new blacks. I'm talking about from the 70s. My grandma couldn't stand it. It's like, what the hell are y'all? Like, y'all are glorifying being ghetto. This is from my grandma. Could, you know, we're Southern Baptist black, owned you know, had her farm in the fucking country. She could not stand that fucking ghetto hustling back in the 70s. She couldn't stand any of that shit. And then, of course, in the 80s, getting into rap, early 80s, she couldn't stand any of that shit because she knew it was all fake. And she made sure that we knew it wasn't real. Don't be acting like your uncles. Don't be acting, you know, like her sons. Don't be acting like your uncles, going down that path of criminal and acting all like you got to be from the hood. My grandma was already ahead of that shit. And she, of course, older black generation. My mom, same way. So I can't stand these Negroes. We all know all it is hustling. We all know it's fake. We all know this. But, well, we do. The intelligent ones, we know. But it's these fake ass leftists. It's fake white people that want to be black. And these blacks that are like looking for a path can live in the most violent black on black neighborhoods, but turn around and want to blame white people for their problems. Yo, wasn't it like a fellow black gang that shot your cousin Bootsy, who wasn't even in a gang? They shot him because he wouldn't even join a gang. What the fuck did it have to do with white people? But this is the bullshit. This is the bullshit. But anyway, let's get into this.
Topics. And for me, I feel like I wasn't there when that occurred. God bless you. I wasn't there when that occurred. And on top of that, I didn't go to any marches. I didn't go to any protests. So for me, I can't speak on it because I'm not helping to change it. And I didn't figure out a way to do it through my art. If I felt like it was something that I wanted to talk about, I would have spoke about it. But I don't feel like I have a need to. You could just look on the internet and see it. It's 24/7. And my manager Chase, he brought up a crazy point to me. And we were all as kids were in the house chilling or studio. Might have been studio. We were chilling and we were talking about the police brutality going on in Baltimore right now, and Ferguson and everywhere around America. And it makes you think. It's like, what is the government really trying to hide? Because it's like, why are we glorified, or why are we
Let me point something out. It ain't the government doing it. The government doesn't control CNN. Hello, we see that right now with Donald Trump. It's not the government trying to cover up black on black crime and everything else. Yeah, it's those left politicians, but the stories, those are run by those media groups. That ain't got nothing to do with the government. The left-leaning government, those mayors, governors, maybe going out of their way to hide, working with the media to hide these stories. Or, yo, okay, I know you got to put the story out, but put it through as quickly as possible. And then, of course, I guarantee you they're fucking telling CNN, okay, well, the story's local, so, they could talk about it like real quick locally, but don't put the shit on national, news. Don't put it on CNN and everything. So it's not the government. It's those rich ass left. I don't know why everybody keeps trying to blame Donald Trump and the right for this stuff. When these cities, Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, they're fucking Democrats that run those damn cities. Hello? So that's the reason why you don't hear about, what he's trying to say is, why isn't it that we don't hear about these incidents, but we hear about police brutality and shit nationwide? Well, it's because of the left. That's why. Let's back it up again so we can get into that.
Why are we glorifying, or why are we exploiting the beef between the urban community and police officers? When in all reality, Memorial Weekend, 60 some odd people got shot just on a Friday and Saturday. 60 some odd people in one city, Chicago. One city, 60 some odd people shot, 9 to 12 dead. Don't quote me on the number, but 9 to 12 dead. Black on black crime. So one cop shoots a black person. Let's march. Let's protest. Let's promote our mixtapes on TV. Let's do all that. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing. I feel like if you're not gonna really talk about the main topic, don't talk about it at all. We have to do something first, and it's within us internally. Like we can't blame the police officers. That kind of shit is inevitable, man. A police officer is gonna see somebody sometimes, So I don't justify cops just killing kids. That's so messed up, man. Because there are guilty cops out there. Yep. There are cops who, they take advantage with their authority. But that's been going on. That's nothing new. Why now? Why are we glorifying it? Why are we making a big spectrum out of it?
The reason why? Because fucking Obama pushed it. That's why. It was a huge political ploy. But the thing is, well, it backfired, obviously, because Donald Trump got elected. So it backfired, And Hillary killed her own fucking political shit, trying to pander to black people with the hot sauce and everything, and just seriously, we are all Americans. You're here, you want to be American, then be fucking American. You don't want to be here, leave. You can leave. There ain't no fucking Berlin Wall here keeping you in, so you can go if you don't want to be here. But this is the greatest country on the planet, so obviously you're not going to fucking leave. Mark Cuban just said something the other day about that. That if these Pelosi and all of them get their way of fucking socialism and shit, he said it. They're going to raise taxes like through the roof. These fucking Democrats. And he said what's going to happen is what happened in Venezuela, where people just jetted. Rich people were like, peace out, bitches. He goes, I'm not going to leave. He goes, whatever. I'll pay those fucking taxes, whatever. But then again, Mark Cuban's got the money for it. But he's like, I'm not leaving. Why the hell would I leave? This is still the greatest country on the planet compared to all the other countries out there. So even if the Democrats still fuck it up for a while anyway, it's still better off than any of these other damn countries out there. Mark Cuban said that just recently in an interview. You can look that up. But yeah, all this shit started with fucking Obama. That's when it all started. And trying to blame Donald Trump for something that he has nothing to do with. Absolutely nothing.
What are we? Let's talk about the black people killing black people. So nobody wants to talk about that. Neither do I.
Baltimore rapper shot to death after hosted prayer for peace charity basketball game. It was a targeted attack. Wow. When he organized a pray for peace in the violence-plagued streets. But he was killed, targeted by blacks. This, and even in the next video that we get into, another black person who was doing well, trying to help the black community, got targeted and killed by blacks. But we don't want to talk about that. It's the white people's fault. Bullshit!
I'm talking about we lay up under each other's cars, lay behind each other's houses. The car passed by, we wet the whole car, boom, boom, bang, bang, kill everybody in the car. Then kick your homeboy, he ran out the car, then running about, stood over him. Hit him about 20 times in the face. We kill each other. As soon as a white boy killed one of us, everybody had to go to hooping and hollering and all that stupid shit.
Yep. Black on black crime is rampant, and we don't hear about it. One cop shoots somebody, or one white person shoots a black person, and it's all over the fucking news. How about the violence against white people? That comes out in the most obscure ways. Violence against white people, and the shit's shoved under the rug. The violence that is, if it's black on white violence. Anything where the blacks are the instigators in mass media and everything, it's all shoved under the rug. Why? What? I'll tell you right now. Let me run for president. I know I'll get a ton of death threats and everything. I don't give a fuck. I grew up with that shit. I grew up with death threats. I was in gangs, plus who my mom was, plus who my family was. I grew up around violence. I didn't hide from it then. I sure as hell ain't gonna hide from it now. See, I'd be the first president that was armed. Surprised Donald Trump isn't, or maybe he is and he's just not promoting it. But fuck that shit. I would be the first nominee or the first candidate running who would be armed. Unless they say, oh, in this venue, you can't be armed. But if I'm allowed to be armed in that venue, damn right, I'll be wearing my open carrying. And if I got the nominee, be carrying. Be like, it wouldn't just be my Secret Service. I'd also be carrying. If I got elected president, I would still, giving my inauguration speech, I'd be on the fucking podium carrying my gun. Be like, this is America, Second Amendment. Why are we hiding who we are? We are America. They know we're America. What the fuck? You got Putin running around shooting guns and everything. Kim Jong-un out there shooting. Everybody's out there showing their military power and all this other stuff. But the moment we do it, oh, it's arrogance. It's arrogance. We should be better than that. No, we need to do that too. So we show that we're not weak-ass bitches and inviting an attack. Do y'all not realize that's how you get attacked? You get attacked when you roll over and show your belly like a bitch. That's how you get mostly attacked, by showing weakness. There are just evil people in the world. People, oh, we need to look for a motive with this latest violence that happened. the shooting in, North Texas, and the machete wielding person up in New York. We need to find a motive. Sometimes there is no motive, people. Sometimes it's just evil people. Mentally disturbed, evil, both. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sometimes there is just not a motive.
That's bullshit. When you stand for something, you gotta stand for it all the way, not halfway.
Yep.
And I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, and fuck you don't like it. You know what's worse than a nigga? Another one.
Woo!
He should have let him live so we could kill it. Niggas hate on niggas. Niggas steal from niggas. Niggas kill niggas. Oh no. Oh, man, help your brother, man. Don't hurt your brother.
Wale speaks up. I want Black Lives Matter to Black Lives More.
We are too violent a society. Violence begets violence. It is time to put down our arms and start the dialogue.
That we are really, really destroying humanity as individuals. And if you would like to take responsibility as I am and people are here are, we're doing it as a whole. And if we don't stop, then one by one, our lives will dwindle away along with our families and our children. So if you love your lives and you love your families as much as I love mine, try to think about mine as much as I think about yours. And let's try to save each other's lives before the world ends right before our eyes.
This is what we're doing, right? We never had communication with police, and we're trying to start a whole new beginning by getting that dialogue and that communication.
Let me tell you something, fucking Snoop, because Snoop is a piece of shit. Your violence, you fuck the police and all that bullshit, NWA and all that crap, fuck that bullshit. Most of your violence, well, of course, wasn't against the police because the police had guns, tons of guns. No, most of y'all have Crips and Bloods. Hello? 2 black organizations killing each other. That ain't got nothing to do with the police. We won't start dialogue with the police. The police wasn't out there killing y'all in droves. It was your rivals who were doing that. Fellow black people that were out there doing that. But Snoop want to go after the cops, like it's the cops that were shooting up the neighborhoods every fucking week and shit.
The best thing you can do is communication, because you can't match hate with hate. You got to match hate with love, and that's what we came for today in a love offering, to sit down and have some dialogue. Like the chief said, we were talking to him and hearing and listening and trying to find a better way to bridge the gap between us and them.
There's no bridging the gap with the police. The police would not be fucking with you if y'all weren't shooting and killing each other. Hello? Do you not realize police have their own families? They got their own kids. They got their own friends. They want to have barbecues and enjoy life too. The police aren't out there. All right, every day we just go out there and harass these fucking black people. Every day we want to go through these violent black neighborhoods and the possibility of getting shot every fucking day. No, there ain't no police out there doing that shit. The police wouldn't be there if your neighborhoods weren't crime ridden. It's not the police fault that y'all are selling drugs. It's not the police fault that y'all are shooting and killing each other. It's not the police fault to patrol your neighborhoods because y'all are violent. That is not the police's fault. That's your fault. So I understand you're talking about love and everything right now, Snoop and shit, but fuck you, Snoop. You're a piece of shit. You want to talk about stopping the violence? Stop the violence amongst yourselves first. There won't be any. There won't be. Do you think people who live in these nice neighborhoods, like the neighborhood I live in, do you think we're like, oh my God, the police are here all the time. Fuck these police and everything. No, because this is a nice neighborhood. And then again, we're all armed citizens and we will take care of our neighborhood. So we're good. We're golden. Then I know the cops. I know most of them that would patrol when we had something that happened at the corner because of some weird family that moved in that, like, we all talked. Did y'all do that family movie? They didn't belong in this neighborhood. You could just tell they didn't belong in this neighborhood. And I'm sorry if that sounds, I can't say racist because they were Latino and most of my neighbors are fucking Latino. So I can't say it was it's not a racist thing. It was a class thing. They was like, hey, this was all the neighbors. Like, Mark, did you see the other neighbors over here? They don't belong in this neighborhood. Why the hell did they move over in this neighborhood? And then, of course, shit happened at that house. It was like, yep, these motherfuckers don't belong here. And then the cops were coming around door to door trying to talk to us about that family and everything. And the cops were like, we never really ever have to patrol this neighborhood. It's like, oh, I told the cops because I knew them. I was like, dude, we're all armed in this neighborhood. We will take care of ourselves. We love our neighborhood. We love our peace and tranquility and everything in our neighborhood. We love that. We ain't gonna have that shit here. And he was like, I know. He was like, I know y'all take care of your own stuff here. So this is my whole point. You don't want cops. As I said, he said, we don't ever really patrol your neighborhood because this whole area is a nice neighborhood. We take care of our own here. This is a very nice neighborhood. We want to keep it that way. So they never have to fucking patrol here. Ever. How about you fuckers do the same in your neighborhoods? Y'all make it seem like the cops are there just harassing you. Cops aren't harassing us. But where do you think you see the cops mostly? Around here? The Northeast? Lower Valley? The places that there is mostly crime. That is where you will see the cops doing their job to try and prevent crime because there's still innocent people that live in those neighborhoods. So you don't want to have a problem with the cops? Stop killing each other. How about that? Cops, as I said, they don't go out of their way wanting to be in danger by being in those fucking trash neighborhoods, but it's their job. They got to be in those neighborhoods. It's their job. But I'll tell you right now, I say we do what they did back in Watts, back in the day. Wall that fucking shit up and just let you fuckers just kill yourselves. Fuck it. Tell all the innocent people, just get out. Move out. We will help you move out of those neighborhoods. And then let those fuckers just kill each other. Or we just send in the National Guard and just fucking blast everybody out. Fuck that. They want to act like a bunch of fucking hooligans and shit, then we should treat them as such. I'm sorry, I have never, ever believed that we should have a soft hand when it comes to fucking violence, and especially gang violence. I have never believed that we should have a soft hand. We should take that shit with a fucking stick. That's what we need to do. But funny how, but they have rights. We don't want to do, we don't, because we have rights. Well, funny, y'all don't seem to want to, y'all don't care about our rights now when it comes to legal citizens wanting to register our guns and turn in our guns. But funny thing is, but these gangs, these violent gangs have rights. We can't just send the cops over there or in there because they have rights. But you saying fucking Democrats want to come after legal gun owners. Until you this is the reason why we can't take you fuckers seriously. Until you clean up your own districts. Until you fucking Democrats clean up your own districts that are fucking violent as shit and trash and shit all over the streets and drugs and fucking needles everywhere. Until you clean up your own neighborhoods, Maxine Waters and all of you, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You should shut, as the other guy said at the very beginning of the video, until you want to clean up your own shit, shut up.
It's almost like when I see another brother, we all get so distrustful of each other.
Right.
Why is that?
I just feel like African American is the worst race in the world because, first of all, we kill each other.
I've been saying this for years and got people trying to call me out saying I'm a racist. You got fucking Lil Bougie up there fucking the game and shit, literally saying it. I've been saying it for years. Since I was a kid, the African American community, black, it's not even really necessarily black, Negroes are the worst race on the fucking planet. Just the worst race. Period. I don't know if it's that Negroes are mentally disturbed, like it's a race thing, like how most, like if you're black, you're high chance of sickle cell anemia and shit. I don't know if it's something like that, but blacks are just violent. Violent. I've always wondered that. Going back to my first real incident of somebody outside of my family who was black, kindergarten. I'm 5 years old, seeing an outside black person for like the first time outside of my family, because my dad was still Navy. So it was Navy. That all it was Navy. That's all it was. You know, so there was no race. It was Navy. There was no race. Didn't matter what race you were Navy. So my first time seeing this kind of monkey, and I'll call it as I see it, attitude was kindergarten. First day of kindergarten, 5 years old. And this fucking Negro boy just being a bully, being a piece of shit, picking on people, starting shit. And I'm like, the hell is this kid's problem? And I dealt with him. I've told that story in one of my other videos. I dealt with him because I was like, what the hell is, I didn't curse, of course, obviously back then, but it was like, what is your problem? You know, just coming up with excuses. And I mean, you know, here's my thing. Obviously, he was 5 years old too, so it's not about hustling. It's about their parents and those grandparents, those Negroes hustling and then passing that information, that false, fake, lying information onto their kids of, oh, you're going to this kind of school. Oh, fucking white people ruin everything. So he's already coming in as a kid with that attitude. Just, you know. And let me back it up again so Lil Boozy can say it again.
On the show.
American is the worst race in the world because, first of all, we kill each other. You know, people always talk about this racist stuff, but the white man ain't waiting in your bush with a chopper. The white man ain't trying to take your rims off your car. The white man ain't doing all this wrong. We doing this to each other. So how can we say F the white man? He ain't doing nothing when you get in trouble doing his job. Guilty. He ain't doing nothing wrong.
Let's see. These are tweets. Just do what you got to do to be a good person. Fuck a color. I love all races. I guess it's another rapper. Hobson. Our Black Lives argument is so contradicting right now. This week, more niggas killed niggas than cops killed niggas. But we want to blame white people. We want to blame the police. Right. Black people, we can't expect anyone to respect us unless we respect ourselves first. Life doesn't work like that. And last but not least, let's be real. Black lives don't even matter to a lot of blacks. So how come all of a sudden Black lives matter when someone else kills us? I've been saying that since the beginning of BLM. The fuck is what the hell is Black Lives Matter? Y'all didn't matter. Y'all haven't mattered my entire life. Black people haven't mattered. All the murder and shit going on in black neighborhoods still don't matter. There's still fucking criminals and crime going. Nothing's changed. All you did was get more dissent among other races. That's all you did. You didn't help anything. You didn't build any fucking dialogue. You didn't do anything. Funny how Snoop went from, when that video was posted, not answering that right now, to all of a sudden when Donald Trump gets elected, his whole story changed. I wonder why that is.
We're talking about Ferguson. Right. Celebrities, politicians, activists, whatever. How do you fix Ferguson is the question. Right? And we fix Ferguson in this. I gotta use my car, man. So nice. Yeah. We fix Ferguson in the same way we fix Afghanistan, Gaza, Palestine, Chicago, and that is to stop. We have to stop and be open to the possibility that we have been brainwashed on every single level of our lives. Brainwashed with conditioned thoughts. Thoughts that we have thought.
Brainwashed not by the white people. There's white people that are out there doing some talking, but they ain't the ones brainwashing you. It's Jesse Jackson, Farrakhan, Al Sharpton. It's your own people that are brainwashing you. You don't see fucking, Elizabeth Warren. You don't see any of these people out there in these neighborhoods trying to talk to you all the time and everything and pushing these narratives and everything. No. Who is it? It's your black leaders. They're the ones. These so-called black leaders. All they're doing is leading you down the wrong path. And these so-called black leaders, where do they live? Do they live in your neighborhood? I guarantee you they don't. Guarantee you they live in a nice house in a nice neighborhood, but their congregations, their meeting places are in your neighborhoods, like they're one of you, like they're down like you, but living in a nice, safe neighborhood, making all this money somehow, some way, while pushing all this fake narrative and everything. Y'all are brainwashed, but it ain't by the white man. It's by your fellow Negro leaders.
Died over, killed over, and depressed over. Okay. We're so loyal to these thoughts, right? Right. But we gotta question them because they were created by the culture that we were born in. Look at that word, culture that we were born in, right? Okay. All right. This culture taught us that race was real, and we believe it. It taught us that war and violence creates peace, and we believe it. It taught us that love was weakness, and we believe it. We ate it up, right? But open any history book, right? Any history book, you will notice a trend. Generation after fucking generation, the same story over and over again. We've tried everything. Politics, protests, the rallies, the riots, the marches. None of it works. Right. These things create short-term results, not lasting solutions. Just because our parents or grandparents believe something or did something doesn't mean that we have to continue that cycle, man. Yo, this is our time right now. As I stand here right now, this is our time. Billions have come before us and billions will come after us. We have a chance right now to make a real difference. Or we could die doing the same thing that we've been doing over and over, expecting different results.
This was posted 3 years ago. Why didn't I see or hear any of this stuff? Why wasn't this posted nationally? Why wasn't this pushed like they push all their fake ass bullshit, CNN and everybody? Why is it that I'm only hearing about this stuff? I only came across this video a couple of days ago. See what I mean? These George Soros and Mark Zuckerberg and all these other, Twitter, they do everything they can to hide this shit. Why, y'all, see, this is what gets me about you Negroes. Why is it that y'all don't see what's happening? Y'all are being used. Y'all are being used. And you're not going, whoa. Why are they pushing these narratives? Why are they? No, y'all just get angry. Oh, yeah, it's the white man's fault. It's the police fault. No. Why are you're telling, just like the little boozy said, it ain't the white man in the neighborhood behind the bushes trying to steal your rims and shit. It's us. It's fellow black people. So I'm just curious why, it's only like a small percentage of blacks that know and understand the truth. Why the majority of blacks are just lost, brainwashed. But anyway, let's get past this one. There's probably more. That can be said in this. You see, Lecrae, dear hip hop, we can't scream murder, misogyny, lawlessness in our music and then turn around and ask for equality and justice. Boom. I've been saying that for the longest time when rap first NWA and all that shit came out. It was like, but y'all are like, fuck the police while you are literally in your own music talking about your gats and fucking shooting up your rivals and everything else. But it's the police just harassing us for no reason. Dude, you just promoted in your music about pimps and hoes and pushing drugs and shooting your rivals and killing your fucking people who are against you. You just promoted that shit in your music and then want to wonder why the cops are harassing you. Damn, just damn.
We are here to show love and support to the police force in Los Angeles and get some
Snoop Dogg the Game calls for unity in LA after Dallas shooting.
Great story.
Peace givers and people that distribute love and change.
Yeah, fuck Snoop Dogg. Fuck Snoop Dogg.
This is look at the mercy. I want to give a big shout out to Javante Davis, who paid for Destiny Harris's funeral. Shout out to this young brother. He ain't nothing but like 24, 25 years old. And he decided, all these other people out there, he decided as a young man, world champion boxer, that he was going to pay for Destiny's funeral. Destiny Harrison, 21 years old, started her own business in Baltimore. Started her own business. 21, a business owner. I mean, I don't care what race you are, where you come from. For you to be a business owner at 21, you are doing well. In Baltimore, in the hood. She's building something, an entrepreneur trying to make her way out, trying to do it legit. And then what she get? What's the thing she get? She got robbed. They held her down. One held her down while they punched and stomped her, stealing hair weave.
Black.
Got away with what? $3,000 worth of weed. To try to hurt your own kind to get $3,000 worth of hair weave. To do what? To sell it to other black people. Then she alluded to the police department that she was in fear for her life. That the people who did this to her, that she in the hood snitched on, she pressed charges against, that they were dangerous. Subsequently, 14 days later or so, she gets killed. They go into a store, shoot her in the head. And nobody knows who the suspects are, but there was a ton of people in the store at the time of the incident. And in the hood and in the black community, nobody want to talk about this, the no snitching policy. All these people watched that young woman get gunned down for no reason, apparently no reason. And nobody's going to tell what happened. Hopefully, at this point, there's no indication that anybody's giving any information. Well, maybe because they don't want to get killed like she did. Listen, we got to do better. We got to do better. And see, I feel like I'm one of...
No. Yeah, right. We do have to do better. But no, it's these fucking niggas that are doing everything they can to keep blacks down. They're going out of their way to try and keep blacks down. These are the people. I hate to tell you, but we need our own black superhero. We need anti-gang, like how me and my friends, oh yeah, we did dumb shit too. But the reason why our group even got formed, our gang, which we considered an anti-gang gang, was because one of our friends got raped. And I got jumped, and a lot of other people were getting jumped. Blacks who didn't even go to our school, who didn't even live in our neighborhood, were just attacking, like they were trying to take over our neighborhood and shit. But instead of backing down, we joined up and fought back. I mean, I'm sitting on my front porch in this white neighborhood that I lived in, sitting on the front porch, and they were coming from Ocean Air Apartments, which is a I can't say minority neighborhood. There were just as many Filipinos and white people living in this poor neighborhood, at the time. But walking to Merrimack Park, which is now Merrimack Landing, which is a Navy, or at least it used to be, Navy housing. So they were going from Oceanair, which was, it's a kind of a ghetto, over to Merrimack Landing that we used to live in when my dad was in the Navy, because it's right outside the base. And as I told you, where my street, where I live, is a direct street to Gate 4, to the main gate, one of the main gates going into the base. So they're coming from Oceanair, going to Merrimack. And we're sitting, me and my friend sitting on my front porch, and they start walking by and everything. And they're all like, this is our hood now and everything. And we all looked at them. We're like, you're in the wrong neighborhood, boy. You need to go. We ain't putting up with that shit. It's like, this is all military veterans in this neighborhood. Everybody, you need to go before somebody comes out here and shoots you. This wasn't a racial thing. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I was being racist at that point because I was pissed over them being a bunch of niggas in my neighborhood. That is a nice neighborhood growing up in. Nice, quiet, wonderful neighborhood. And here they come, don't even live in our fucking neighborhood, talking about they're claiming this neighborhood. We all stood up like, you're in the wrong neighborhood. You need to go. Like, dude, the fucking Klan is like right there. Dude, you need to go before they fucking string you up. You need to, because the creek's right there. So you better go before you disappear. I mean, I'm the one saying this shit. And people can call me a racist all they want, but I'm sorry. At that point in time, being that they're in my neighborhood acting like a bunch of fools, I'm going to say the most fucked up shit that I was going to say to piss them off and or scare them, which it did scare them because the neighbors started coming out like, everything okay, Mark? And everything's fine. They know they don't belong here. They're just passing through. And they just kind of like, well, we'll catch you guys later. And we're like, dude, we all protect each other. We ain't worried about you. You don't live in our neighborhood. Get the fuck out. And they walked on. But we formulated our own gang to protect each other and prevent shit like that. We didn't back down like a bunch of bitches. We stood up, we fought back, and we were fine. The fucking gangs didn't do shit. They tried. E for effort. But they didn't succeed. That's what you got to do. You got to stand up. Well, they're violent and everything. I hate to tell you, sometimes you peaceful people, you bitches that like this happened to this girl, this Destiny girl. This happened at her business. This happened with witnesses. And nobody's coming forward. Nobody's coming forward. That's just sad because of this either no snitching thing or they're afraid of retaliation. But why don't they do what we did? Sometimes I don't want to be a violent person. I really was never going to join the military. I mean, even though I'm a Navy brat, I wasn't going to join the military. But I grew up, I was born, raised, married to, grew up military. So obviously I was, eventually I guess I just decided, to do that. But even in gangs, I didn't want to be in a gang. I never wanted to be a violent person. I am, and it's funny because I got a lot of friends that keep arguing with me about this. I was diagnosed at the age of 5. I don't think that word existed back then. I even still got friends now trying to be doctors. That word still doesn't exist. Sociopath. I am a sociopath. It is in my military records, my psych records. I am a sociopath. But I got friends, well, you don't act like one. Okay, because literally the friend is trying to diagnose, this was just the other day, trying to diagnose me. Like, well, you don't act like one. And, it sounded like you were probably out there killing animals when you were a kid. And I looked at her like, and I was like, you know what? I said, let me explain something to you. The person you see before you is years of growth, years of development. But I consider who I am to be like an alcoholic. okay, I haven't had a drink in like 20 years, but I'm still an alcoholic. It's still, that I am a sociopath, period. Because she was like, so, okay, well, you probably don't have that, you don't seem to have that whole attitude that you want to like kill off a whole bunch of people. And I'm like, oh, yes, I do. I was like, I got into argument with a friend after we watched the whole Thanos thing and stuff, where when he snapped people. I was like, yeah, that in the comic he snapped everybody, 100% out of existence. In the movie they just made it 50. I was like, fuck that. I said, okay, 50, whatever, 50. I said, I don't think I would do like the comic and do 100, but I sure as hell would do like maybe 90, somewhere in the 90s of snapping people out of existence. And she was like, oh, well, why would, what would make you have the right? And I'm like, well, hello, if we just saw the movie, and if I'm snapping people out of existence and you're trying to tell me what gives me the right, well, the gauntlet gives me the right. That's what gives me the right. The gauntlet does. But she was talking about my thought process on it. And I was like, no. I'm a sociopath. I said, right now, if I had the power, I would wipe out the majority of humanity. Because not only am I a sociopath, but I'm also pagan, Wiccan. So I believe more in Mother Earth than I do believe in the disease that is humanity any day. But so this other friend, I did a lot of stuff when I was a kid. But my mom put me in martial arts, not that fake ass black belt factory. I love Chuck Norris, but his schools are bunk. Black belt factory, when my mom put me in the real, like I had real instructors, the ones that will whip your ass because you're learning to defend. This isn't like Daniel-san, Karate Kid martial arts. No, this was like to protect yourself. Master Meadows, who's a former police detective back home in Norfolk, started when he retired. He is the only American to get his Grand Mastery from the Grand Master in Okinawa in Aikido. The only American, the only white person to get his Grand Mastery from the Grand Master who is still alive in Aikido in Okinawa. And when he retired, he opened up a martial arts school. Most of the students there were cops. Most of the students, current cops. And then he had regular students. But he turned around, he was one of my instructors. He turned around and said during one of, there were people that wanted to go to the school, and he said, no, I need you to watch class first before you decide. And he goes through he goes, this isn't Karate Kid martial arts. This isn't bullshit tournament martial arts. As you can see, because everybody, all the cops were wearing the Norfolk Police Department shirts and shit. He was like, most of my students, as you see, he goes, I'm retired. I'm a retired detective. Most of the students you see are police officers. So I'm teaching them real martial arts, the shit to make you survive in the real world. None of that fake ass tournament bullshit. If you can't handle that, get the fuck out of my school. But that's how I grew up. But it wasn't just the martial arts. It was also the meditative side behind it. So the reason why when people say, well, you don't act like a sociopath, I've got friends who are sociopaths and they take medications for it to keep in order, to keep in line, to keep stable. And we were trading stories one day. And they were like, man, you sound way worse off than us, but you don't take any medication? And I was like, no. How? We were trading stories from our childhood on. And they were like, man, dude, you were way worse than we are. How do you not take any medication? And I was like, well, all the stuff, most of those stories I'm telling you are from my childhood until I started going through certain other, I'm not going to get too personal, but, certain other processes and everything else, meditation, things like that, that I was put into to control those urges, those thoughts. And so I do everything I can to just, count to 10 and all that and everything, weigh the options, all of that shit. So I could kind of forget where I was at, but me and my friends, we did what we needed to do. But you can't be a bunch of little bitches and just roll over. and just let these fucking gangs just take over and run shit. I hate to tell you, citizens, I understand that some of y'all want to be innocent and good people, but sometimes you need to be that strong hand. You need to fight back. I mean, here's my point behind this for the cops. This is the message to the police. If citizens do this, people you know aren't violent people, but violence happens and the citizens just get fed up and come out their houses and start gun blazing, murdering. I don't care if you want to call it murder. I call it self-defense. They come out of their houses and start blasting these fucking gangs and take their goddamn neighborhoods back so they can get back to just having their street barbecues and living life and everything and living good. Leave them alone. The ADAs, the DAs, the judges, the cops, if the citizens come out and say, we're done, and just start blasting these fucking gangs and killing them off, just come in, clean the streets up, clean the bodies up, and just go, thank you for your service, and just leave these people alone because they took their neighborhoods back. This is what I understand that people be like, well, Mark, that'd be like the old West. Well, you know what? I hate to tell you, but that's what these fucking people would understand. And that's exactly what we should do. Am I calling for violence? In those situations, it's not violence. It is self-defense. These people are murdering people, selling drugs, killing people. We need to take back our neighborhoods. That's what we need to do. And I hate to tell you, but the cops and the ADAs and the judges, everybody needs to just stand out of the way. Stand to the side and stay the fuck out of the way. If they're not going to do it, then we need to do it our damn selves. It's just ridiculous. We shouldn't need to, I understand your job is to protect and serve. I understand that's your job, but we shouldn't need to rely on you. We should be able to handle our own business.
Apparently no reason, and nobody's going to tell what happened. Hopefully they will. At this point, there's no indication that anybody's giving any information. Well, maybe because they don't want to get killed like she did. Listen, we got to do better. We got to do better. And see, I feel like I'm one of the ones that's saying this. I'm on the mountaintop screaming, talking about rap music, talking about the violence, talking about these situations that come about that nobody wants to talk about because you're always talking about black people. But this is black people doing this. This ain't white people with a KKK flag and a neo-Nazi and a Trump hat on coming to this young lady business, robbing her, and then killing her 14 days later. In the head, shots to the head. Taking her off the map. A young woman doing something in the hood. For black people. It's ain't white people doing this, man. This is other black folks. And some of y'all are too cowardice to actually say these things. I grew up in and around the hood my whole life. My whole life. I know what it is. I know for a fact there's some real dudes in the hood that will knock you off and won't think twice about it. Ask Nipsey Hussle. I could go down the list. And we won't address it. I look at news feeds, I see Donald Trump. I look at news feeds, I see white privilege. I look at news feeds, I see white supremacy. The white man, the government system. The government system ain't doing this. It's us. We doing this to each other. And you wonder why black businesses don't open up, or people who are entrepreneurs don't want to open up business in the hood. Why? You'll get robbed. And nobody gonna snitch. They'll knock you off. Nobody gonna snitch. So why would you stay in the hood? Why would you build the hood? And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. The goal is to get out of the hood.
I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for years.
You ain't no more down. You ain't no more cool. You ain't no more with it because you live in the hood.
Yep.
Because if you really live in the hood, you are at risk. You are at risk. The leading cause of death for black men in America, my age, 20s and 30s, even teens, are being murdered by other black people. You are at risk.
Truth.
93% of the black murders in this country are committed by other black people.
Truth.
You are at risk in the hood. People ain't got no money. They get desperate. People using drugs, selling drugs in the gang life, they get desperate. And if you got it and they ain't got it, they gonna come get it. And if some of y'all don't know what it is in the hood, then you think I'm playing. Look at what happened to this girl. This is one example. Ladies and gentlemen, in Baltimore, they have a murder a day. And it's not all over Baltimore. It's in one or two areas of Baltimore. A murder a day. Some of y'all need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. And you should be standing up on your own against some of this craziness. Stop talking about Trump. Start calling out other black people who are doing this. Start calling out these rappers who get on TV and say, oh, racism. And then they music, they talking about the very thing that happened to this girl, Destiny. This is what they talking about. Run up on you, bareface, you know what I'm saying? Put you at gunpoint, all these other things. Knock you off, won't think twice about it. Y'all didn't heard the raps. This ain't no game in the hood. On television, it's fun, it's cool. At the concerts, people getting killed over this stuff. And I know I'm ranting, but man, it just bothers me. Because Destiny deserved to have life. She
21.
deserved to have a business.
Wow.
And she deserved to be at least protected in her own community, serving her own people. And the reason I'm so upset about this, because I'm sick of people making excuses and pointing the finger. We need to look in the mirror. We got problems in our culture. We have problems in our community. We need to stop worrying about who throwing what touchdowns. We need to stop worrying about who danced where, what real house, whatever situation is going on. We need to start really thinking about fatherlessness in our own communities. Think about the crime rate. Why young men don't have no direction. You got all these millionaires out here that live in Baltimore, all them Baltimore Ravens. Top 1% earners played for the Baltimore Ravens. We should be doing more stuff in our communities, especially if you're talking about it, especially if you're being negative, especially if you're blaming the white man. Then you need to be doing something in your own community.
Yep. My boy Brandon Tatum, y'all. Oh man, he's supposed to be at that conference in Mesa, Arizona, January 17th. I really, really, really want to go to that. But he's real talk. I've been saying this my entire life. Can't be blaming other people for the shit y'all are doing to yourselves. Anyway, I'm going to finish this video right now. Talk at y'all later. I know I said it beforehand, before Christmas, but still Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, which is coming up, tomorrow. So please be safe. I can't stress enough. Be safe. Don't drink too much. Don't be stupid.